Hello, this is Yang. December is high season for hairy crabs. It's a freshwater crab native to southeastern China, and it's been really popular especially around Shanghai. Its roe has a rich and intense umami flavor, and the meat has a very delicate texture. Today we are making 3 crab dishes: drunken, steamed, and sauteed. Also, there will be a fun recipe in the end you don't want to miss. First, keep the crabs in water so that they can spit out the sand. Change water every 10 minutes for 3 times. Meanwhile, prepare dry ingredients for our marinade. Drunken is basically marinating food in alcohol and seasoning. Peel and thinly slice a ginger. Boil 500 ml or 2 cups of water. Throw in Sichuan pepper, star anise, and bay leaf. Tear up dry chili. Add rock sugar, black pepper, and fresh chili. Stir until the sugar fully dissolves. Pour in 500 ml or 2 cups of soy sauce, 30 ml or an ounce of mirin. Bring to a boil, then add scallion. Turn off the heat and set aside. This recipe is a basic ratio. You can easily scale up for more crabs. The surface of hairy crab is very complex and needs to be cleaned well. I recommend using an electronic toothbrush. Taking away the outer casing, we can see the internal structure. The most important component in a toothbrush is a motor. This one uses a type of maglev motor that vibrates a shaft by changing the direction and intensity of magnetic field, which is quite different from regular DC motor or eccentric motor in other types of toothbrush. It's more expensive, but also less noisy. Energy is concentrated at the tip of the brush, which allows for more efficient cleaning of hairy crabs or your tooth. Raw drunken crab has a better texture, but hairy crabs live in fresh water and may carry parasites, which can't be killed by marinade. We will be making a cooked drunken crab. Steam for 15 minutes. Untie the strings. Place them in a sealable container. Pour in the marinade. 500 ml or 2 cups of Shaoxing wine. Choose the best wine you can afford because it has a direct impact on the final flavor. Add 100 ml or 3 ounces of baijiu. If the liquid is not enough, just make more marinade, following the same ratio until crabs are fully covered. Seal the container and marinate in fridge for 3 to 5 days. Next, we'll make a citrus-flavored drunken crab. Orange and hairy crab are a classic pairing. Pour in the marinade cooked with orange peel. 500 ml of orange plum wine. $100 ml of Control orange liqueur. 100 ml of Black Label Scotch for some smoky notes. Add fresh orange slices. Seal and place in refrigerator. While we have the scotch, let's make ourselves a highball. Cheers! After 3 to 5 days, our drunken crabs are ready. A heavy cleaver comes in handy. Split it right in the middle. This is a female. During this season, the crab is packed with roe, which is full of flavor. And this one is a male. We'll also try a citrus-flavored one. Place them on crushed ice. Garnish with optional chrysanthemums. Grate some lemon zest. And our drunken crabs are done. Now, let's make the steamed hairy crab. Line the steamer basket with perilla, belly side up. Put a slice of ginger on top, and steam for 15 to 20 minutes, depending on size. Meanwhile, we'll make a dipping sauce. Peel the ginger and grind into a paste. Traditionally, we use rice vinegar, but I think Grape vinegar has a delicate fruity aroma that's even more suitable. Today's choice is a white balsamic from Italy. Untie the crab, flip it over, and it's ready to be served. Quite easy. Of course, you know and I know, that's just not how this show works. We are going to take this crab apart and pick the meat. Let's dive in, shall we? Hairy crab, aka the Chinese mitten crab, grows in freshwater, and no need to obsess over the region. The quality of microenvironment and the farming method is much more important. The hairy crab belongs to the Arthropoda phylum. The abdomen, cephalothorax, and appendages are the three main body parts, including 1 pair of calipats and 4 pairs of walking legs. Open up the shell to reveal the interior. The gills are the respiratory system. The mouth and the stomach are the digestive system. These are inedible. Throw them out. Traditionally, some people believe that you cannot eat the heart because it'll make you cold. But that's not really supported by any scientific literature. The roll actually contains liver and pancreas, also the female's reproductive organ. The male sex gland is referred to as crab paste, which does have a slightly sticky mouthfeel, and the easiest way to distinguish between male and female is to look at the belly. To pick the meat, you need a pair of seafood scissors and a stick, called crab needle. Break off the claws. Use the scissors to cut off the legs here. Handling the legs is all about details. Break off the carpus and dactyl by hand instead of using scissors to bring out the bones and the meat in proper section. Cut off the other end of the mirrors and use a needle to push out the meat. I don't recommend using a rolling pin because it may produce tiny pieces of shell that's hard to remove later. Now cut open the body. Due to the bone structure, it is not enough to cut only across the body. You also need to make several perpendicular cuts, so to speak. Then, it's easier to access the meat. Still, it is very common for bone fragments to get in, so keep checking. For the 3 joints of the claw, cut open from 2 sides to expose the meat. The bone is a little sharp, so be careful. Keep the palm like this for plating. Arrange all the elements on the plate to resemble a crab. Then serve with ginger and vinegar. Some people argue that steaming is the best way to cook hairy crabs, but I disagree. The ultimate recipe for this delicacy is sauteed crab over rice. First, steam the hairy crabs so that they are cooked. Then pick out all edible parts. If it's too slow to do this by yourself, ask some friends to help out. Separate the roll, meat, and legs. Please don't throw away the shells. We need them later. We use an assembly line system to process different parts in batch to maximize efficiency. Don't leave the meat out for long. Move them to the fridge in batch to limit bacteria growth. I know it's tempting, but don't eat your own stash. After all, don't be the Omar Little of your crab meat puddle. Now, here are the meat and roll from 25 crabs. Cover with plastic wrap and store in the fridge. Next, we'll make a stock. Spread half of the crab shells on a baking tray, along with a few chicken feet for extra collagen. Roast in the oven for about 15 minutes until browned. Prepare the mirepoix, which is onion, celery, and carrot. Roughly chop, and into a stock pot they go, along with the roasted crab shells and chicken feet. Add 4 liters or 1 gallon of water to cover the ingredients. Bring to a boil and simmer for about 40 minutes. Clean, trim, and dice 1 kilogram or 2 pounds of pork back fat and place directly into the pan. Add water to about half the height of the fat. Add optional ginger and scallion for some extra flavor. Water heats up the fat more evenly. Lard will render as water evaporates, and you'll always have enough liquid as heat conductor. Pass through a sieve to separate oil and cracklings. Clean the pan so that we can make crab oil. Pour in the other half of the shells and the fresh lard we just made. Keep the heat low to extract more flavor for about 30 minutes until the shells become brittle. When strained, you can see the color is bright orange. It is because of astathasin and is the main source for the color of salted crab. With the same pan, add crab oil, ginger, then the roll. For me, the ideal ratio of female to male is about 2:1. Be patient. Keep the heat very low for the entire time. When stirring, avoid smashing the roll to smaller pieces. You want to keep them as intact as possible. Cook for 2 to 3 minutes, then add the meat and legs. Some more crab oil, Shaoxing wine, 2 grams of salt, and 2 ladles of stock. Some of the crab dishes you see in restaurants have unnaturally golden color or unreasonable low price. Be very careful because they are probably cut with something else. It's better to make it yourself or source from a trusted vendor. Reduce just a little bit. Add a splash of aged balsamic vinegar and a thin slurry for thickening. Kill the heat and transfer to a hot plate. Look at the color. Garnish with grated ginger and balsamic pearls. They are basically solidified vinegar with a jelly-ish texture. They pop in your mouth and goes excellent with crab. Now, let me show you the proper way to eat this. Have yourself a bowl of rice, ideally from Wuchang in northeastern China. Top with as much crab as you want. More, then some more. Then a finishing touch. Mix well and enjoy. If eating regular sea crab is like wearing cotton t-shirt, then hairy crab is like the finest silk robe. When the fat on land meets the flavor from water, when carbs from the north is graced by protein of the south, when richness is amplified by umami. This is the ultimate crab recipe. Try it if you have the chance. Enjoy cooking, enjoy life. This is Yang, and I'll see you next time. Okay, now, let's make a fusion-style crab and pork tortellini, which is a twist of traditional Chinese crab and pork dumpling. Get all the spices ready. The pork will be in the form of rillette. Skin and cut pork belly into large cubes. Put onion and garlic in the bottom of the tray. Grate cinnamon and nutmeg. Add 1 black cardamom, clove, white pepper, paprika. Then add concho liqueur, thyme, sage, and lemon peel. A few scoops of lard. Cover with foil and bake for 2 hours. Pick out the meat and strain the fat. Pull the meat. Season with salt. Add pepper. Pour back some rendered fat. Mix well. Add lemon zest. Place in an airtight container and seal with more fat on top. Rillette is a French meat paste. It keeps in the fridge very long. You can spread it on your toast. It's delicious. Next, mix the pasta dough. We've made pasta for a few times on the show, and the recipe is the same. Egg, semolina, and 00 flour in a ratio of 2, 2, and 5 by weight. After the dough is smooth, rest for 30 minutes. Cut the dough in thirds. Flatten it with a rolling pin and press with pasta machine. until very thin, like so. Add salt and rillette to the crab meat and mix well. Cut the pasta into 8 cm or 3-inch squares. Place the filling on top. Make sure that every dumpling has some delicious roll. Wet 2 edges with water. Fold over and squeeze out excess air. Dip your finger in water and fold like this to form the tortellini. For my first attempt, I'm pretty happy with the shape. Traditionally, tortellini is cooked in beef broth, but of course, we'll use our crab stock. Season with salt and add the dumplings. Filling is already cooked, so the tortellini takes only about 2 minutes. Take some more stock. Add xanthan gum and soy lecithin. Blend the mixture until you have a stable layer of foam. Arrange the tortellini on a plate. Spoon in some stock, then add the crab foam on top. Last but not least, garnish with vinegar and tarragon. And our fusion crab dumpling is done. Now we can end this video for real. Enjoy cooking, enjoy life. This is Yang, I'll see you next time. Well, hopefully soonish. Meanwhile, stay safe.